So rafts are a very common and very useful feature inside of 3D printing slicers. They can protect the base layer of your 3D print. They can compensate for any sort of variation in leveling on the bed. They can make sure you maintain high tolerances on the parts, and they can help to keep the part stuck down to the bed without having significant post-processing like brims and that kind of thing. But the issue is that slicers are freaking terrible at making rafts. Here's the issue. So most rafts are designed with a rastering pattern on the base layer so that it can be removed from the bed easily, and then multiple layers on top. Many slicers are really bad at defining how these features work. And since they are dependent upon the slicer that is made on, it's very difficult to prototype a part and then send it into mass production at a giant print farm like ours. Our slicer might be a little bit different from yours. The spacing might be a little bit different on your raft. The cooling might be a little bit different. All of these factors really affect how the raft performs, and they are really ambiguous about what they are. How thick is your top layer? How thick is your first layer? So on and so forth. All of this is just kind of silly. And if you're running through like an automated system, if you like submitted something through our API or our Etsy plugin where it's blind and the part is just sliced and then printed, you don't really want to have to rely on print settings. You want to make sure that you control how that part is going to come out so that it's really, really reliable. And the only way to do this is inside of CAD. But let's talk about regular rafts just a little bit. Not only are they not user-friendly and not consistent or reliable across platforms, but the way they're designed is incorrect. Many of them have the rastering pattern. That rastering pattern is generally one large bead of plastic. When dealing with high warp plastics such as ABS, that large bead creates a really thick concentration of material that then shrinks. So the raft itself peels up from the bed and creates stress concentrations and stress forces, internal forces inside of the raft that make it want to peel. It's a really bad way of designing that first layer. They should be thin and small, but you can't do that because the raft has to stick down to the bed. The subsequent layers also on many slicers are spaced out too much, and you can tune these, but it's very difficult to get them to where they need to be. A lot of them are kind of stringy because they're like, oh, the raft needs to peel off easily, but you end up peeling off and leaving material on the core part. And inside of slicers, when you're spacing the raft, the part can often become disconnected from the raft itself so that you can remove the raft, but then the part isn't actually cinched down to the bed, and you create all of these issues. So, the best way of fixing all of this is to design a raft into the part itself. It's not difficult. At the most basic level, you can just create a plane, a sheet that is then printed underneath the part. This gives you the reliability of the part, the strength of the part, make sure that the part is cinched down well, make sure the spacing is all there, and you don't have to deal with fiddling the settings inside of a slicer that might be ambiguous. Now, that doesn't fix any of the other issues with the raft, but let's start with a cube. First of all, make sure you fillet the vertical edges of the cube. That improves print quality and print speed, and you do not need sharp corners anywhere inside of a part. So you put the plane underneath it. That plane generally can be spaced out by the distance of the layer height that you're using, maybe a little bit less if you want to increase adhesion. So if we're printing at 0.2 layer height, go ahead and space out the designed raft 0.2 from that part. That's the baseline. Easiest thing to do, super simple. Make sure the outer edges of the raft are rounded, again, as much as possible. If you could put a circle underneath the part, that's ideal, because then you don't have potential areas where they can warp. Sharp corners warp on a first layer if you're dealing with those types of materials. Now that's the very basic and most simple type of raft you can possibly get. Now let's get a little bit more interesting. This raft is not holding down the part. You have to tune spacing. That's a little bit too much effort. The corners of the cube could warp and peel up from the raft, so let's go ahead and just tie those down. What you can do is you put some small 1mm struts underneath the edges of the part so that they are physically connected to the raft, and now the raft can hold down the part and serve as increased adhesion holding down the piece. But when you remove the part, they're 1mm struts, so they're very easy to either snip off or just manually break off. You essentially create a very simple zipper that's able to break away, and then you can still have good strength adhering to the raft, but a part that's easy to remove and process. But now let's go ahead and go to the raft itself. The part is stuck to the raft well enough now, but the raft itself now has to stick to the bed and be reliable. Like we said, round the outer edges, that's great. A lot of problems though with rafts is that the rastering is very often linear on any of these parts, and when it's linear, you have that shrinking problem again, where there's a big old long streak of material that then shrinks and causes the raft to warp. In order to fix that, break up that big old long streak of material. You can do it by just removing a very small section of the base layer of the raft. You can do this by just putting a big old circle underneath and pulling that up like 0.2 millimeters again, so that you just lose a single layer, so the raft is still sound and the raft can still potentially kind of stick to the bed. But you don't have these continuous layers, and you just have the outer edges sticking down to the bed, so that the places where the force is most necessary are there, but the interior peels off easily. This also improves mass production because auto ejection is more reliable and all that kind of thing. You can take this a step further because, again, that rastering, if you're working in these corners, you can have some corners with longer streaks of materials than ones on the other side where they're turned 90 degrees. You can also cut like an X through the raft, which will break up those continuous lines so that, again, you just have material sticking to the bed, but you don't have these long shrink regions that can cause issues on the raft and other pieces of material. And you can play around with these patterns. We could probably do another video where these patterns can be very explicitly designed, because there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with zigzags and that kind of thing that can really improve this. But that improves the raft first layer so that it's reliable, sticks down to the bed, but it's still easily removable, but still also holds down as well. All of these factors that you're playing with. Now, very lastly though, there is one more thing that we can do with the print itself to make sure it's stuck to the raft. And this is an advanced feature that requires a lot of teamwork between supplier and designer. And what you can do is now thicken the raft so that it's very thick and rigid, which can be useful because, again, if a raft is thick, it's more difficult for it to warp if you're using the correct type of materials. It can effectively have infill, and now you have a strut underneath the part. But if you are trying to stick the part really reliably to the raft with a really high warp material that, like, the little struts don't work, you can't just space it just right, all the rest of this, a thing you can do is effectively create long lines of connection so that you have this kind of Velcro disconnect feature. The way of doing this is with just hemispheres, and then make sure that each one of the interface locations is one layer thick. That simple one layer lets us break it away really easily, because one layer of printed parts will break away really easily. So you can do a hemisphere, make sure that the tips of the spaces in between the hemispheres are one layer thick, which means 0.4 millimeters, or maybe 0.5 if you want to stretch it up to, again, make sure it auto slices well and it's not like a thin wall that's ignored. But then you can have that whole row along the bottom, and then the part will break away from that whole row, but still have really, really good adhesion because it's effectively the same part. That lets you connect the piece more tightly to the raft, but still be able to break it away. So hopefully that covers raft design for you. Slicers are really bad at most features, including support and brims, and of course rafts. And we're gonna go through how to design those features explicitly in CAD itself so that you do not waste material, you don't end up fondling settings for days, and you actually get exactly what you need in a very reliable and very engineered sort of context, rather than an auto-generated hope it works kind of a way. Have a great day, everybody.